How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Most of you guys know that Car and Driver is a automotive news company. Normally I do read their articles online whenever I get the chance, because they do pump out a lot of interesting content. And a couple days ago they actually posted this would you rather kind of segment, and they're basically pitting the cars of Lightning Lap 2021 that I guess they lapped, according to this, they lapped 18 of the hottest cars around Virginia International Raceway's Grand Course. And it's basically if given the keys, which ones would you guys choose? So I'm actually going to go through it. I'm going to do it myself. Comment down below if you guys agree with my choices. Comment down below also what you guys would choose for these certain cars, which one's your favorite, which one you're most excited about to see more on the street. All these cars, by the way, are already out. They're already being produced. They're already available to the public. So I've already seen a couple of these on the roads, and actually there is, I believe, a 2021 Supra 3.0 in there, which is something that I drove. If you haven't checked out that review, I'll leave a link to it on the top of the channel right now. So anyways, guys, I'm going to be diving into it right here. As you guys could see, that's the title of the article. I'll also leave a link to this article in the description of the video if you guys want to check this out yourself. So right here it does tell you a little bit about Virginia International Raceway's Grand Course. And starting off, going to the first matchup, they have the McLaren 765 LT, sorry about that, against the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Personally, a lot of these are going to be tough to choose. Personally, I feel like the McLaren would be more, better for the track. Yeah, and as you can see here, the McLaren is pushing out 755 horsepower. It's a twin turbocharged 4-liter V8, and the Huracan is 630 horsepower with a V10. Obviously, for the Huracan, the V10, it's a mid-engine car. I believe that's the same for, that's the same for the McLaren as well. Me personally, honestly, I love Lamborghini, and if you were to tell me to go for one brand over the other, I'd probably pick a Lamborghini over McLaren. But for this specific one, I'm actually going to pick the McLaren, and yeah, as you can see, the McLaren won 67% of this poll. Now moving on, you have the Porsche 911 Turbo S versus the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. I've seen a lot of memes about the Taycan Turbo S because it actually doesn't even come with a turbo. Yeah, the 0 to 60 is actually at 2.4 seconds, which is really insane. But then again, the 911 Turbo S, it looks like, actually has 2.2 seconds 0 to 60. So I mean, again, pretty much very, very similar. Me personally, I really don't like electric cars, so I have to go with the 911 Turbo S. And yeah, that won by over 80%. So a lot of people who like Car and Driver obviously do not like electric cars. So now moving on to the BMW M8 competition against the Jaguar F-Type R. Me personally, I have more experience with the Jaguar F-Type just because someone I knew, their father actually had an F-Type. But anyways, I do really like the styling of the Jaguar F-Type Rs. And if you've been subscribed to my channel, me personally, I'm not really super into BMWs and Mercedes. Now, obviously, when we look down here, you can see the BMW is pushing out a little bit more power than the Jaguar. But honestly, with the Jaguar styling as well as the supercharged V8, I'm personally going to go with the Jaguar. As you guys can see, the Jaguar did lose that poll. Now, moving on to the Toyota Supra 3.0 against the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. This Toyota Supra 3.0, I'm assuming that's the 2021 model, and if that is actually what I drove on the channel. Again, I linked the full review on that Supra in the top of the video before. And yeah, they definitely are talking about the 2021 model because it did, it's talking about how it did receive that power bump from the 2020 model. Me personally, when I drove the Supra, it felt amazing. And honestly, while driving, it felt like it was over 380 horsepower. Definitely had a decent amount of torque. Really threw me back in the seat, which was very surprising for just a kind of regular BMW inline 6 or turbocharged inline 6, I should say. But that being said, I mean, putting it against the Porsche 718, obviously it's not the most, like, it's not the fastest Porsche around by any means. I drove the Porsche GT2 RS. I'll leave that review on the top of the video right now as well. That thing was amazing. Now, obviously, this is not, the 718 Cayman GT4 is not in that same category as the Porsche GT2, but I still feel like just the overall driving experience of the Porsche is really amazing, with the flat 6 engine in the back, rear mounted engine, rear wheel drive. I believe this Porsche is rear wheel drive as well. And honestly, I really don't know. Again, I love the Supra. I'm not gonna hate on the Supra because it's a BMW, even though everyone knows that the drivetrain is a BMW. This is definitely pretty tough for me, but I'm probably going to choose the Porsche. And yeah, you can see the Porsche really like decimated this Supra in this poll. No surprise to me. But again, I do really love the Supra. Like, don't take it as me trying to hate on the Supra, because I definitely really enjoyed driving that car. Alright, so now moving on to two cars that me personally I don't really know that much about. The Cadillac CT5V or BMW M340i. I mean, oh my god, BMW's freaking names are so confusing, especially because they try to, like, I guess, mimic the displacement in the car, in the engine, I believe. But then again, the displacement isn't even correct, so I don't even get that. Now, the Cadillac CT5V is twin turbocharged V6, putting out 360 horsepower. The BMW makes 380 turbocharged inline 6. So I guess single turbo inline 6 against twin turbo V6. I know Cadillacs are really big and bulky. I can almost guarantee that the BMW, or this specific BMW, would be lighter than the Cadillac, and plus it is making more power. So again, I'm not super into BMWs, but probably in this poll I'm going to have to choose the BMW. And actually the Cadillac CT5V did beat it out, which is actually pretty interesting. I guess just more people are excited for that Cadillac. Now again, I don't like tear me up in the comments, but again, these are like two cars that I honestly could care less about. Cadillac CT4V against Mercedes AMG CLA 45. So the Cadillac has a 2.7 liter turbo 4, and the Mercedes AMG has a boosted 2 liter turbo 4. Again, no, I honestly don't know. Now this is saying that the AMG is actually pushing out 382 horsepower, which is definitely a lot for a turbo 4. So honestly, I guess I'll just choose that. And yeah, you can see the Mercedes did beat the Cadillac in this poll 65-35. Now this is actually a poll that I kind of wanted to spend some time on. The new Toyota Supra 2.0 against the Mustang 2.3 liter high performance EcoBoost. Again, both turbo 4 cylinders, probably both great on fuel economy, definitely two very daily drivable vehicles. And believe it or not, I was actually supposed to review a new Toyota Supra 2.0 at the same Toyota dealership that I did the Toyota Supra 3.0 review at, but unfortunately they actually sold the car that I was going to do a review on before I was able to film it. And honestly, from talking to the guys at the Toyota dealership, they said that it's pretty damn slow, even though it is making 255 horsepower. And I've actually heard pretty good things about the high performance EcoBoost S550 Mustang. So honestly, again, these are two cars that I don't really have experience for, but they're very, very similar. Again, two turbo 4 cylinder cars, rear wheel drive, both probably very fun to drive, both independent rear suspension. Obviously we know with the S550 Mustang, the Mustang actually got an independent rear suspension. And just going off the power numbers, yeah, the Supra is making 250, whereas the high performance EcoBoost Mustang is making 330 horsepower, which is still like not a lot, but is definitely a significant amount over the Supra, and I would have to guess that they're probably right around the same weight. So for that, I'm actually going to be going with the Mustang, and it's actually pretty interesting. You can see that the Supra did beat out the Mustang, but it was a fairly even pole. So now this is another pole that I was very excited to do. The Shelby GT500 against the new Z51 C8. And now, as a Mustang guy, I kind of just want to go with the GT500 right off the bat and not really explain myself. But, and I am going to pick the GT500. There's no surprise there. But let me tell you why I'm going to pick the GT500. Yes, the C8 Corvette is extremely revolutionary. You know, first mid-engine Corvette, very European in its design, and probably could beat the GT500 around the track. I didn't search up the lap times for any of these cars to begin with, so definitely let me know down in the comments below. I'm almost certain that a C8 Z51 could probably beat the GT500 around the track. But the reason why I'm going to pick the GT500 is because it's, over this past year or so, it's kind of been overshadowed by the C8. I know it came out before the C8, but for some reason no one's talking about the fact that this Mustang is coming from factory with 760 horsepower. Obviously it does have a, I believe, a dual clutch or a triple clutch automatic transmission, which me personally, I'd rather have them at least have a manual transmission option. But I mean, this car is an absolute, like, it's a Hellcat killer. It's faster than the C8s in a quarter mile. I've seen plenty of videos of people pitting the GT500s against the C8s. Now, around the track, I probably would pick the C8 Z51, but me personally, if I could get any of these two cars for free, I would probably choose the GT500, just because, again, I love Mustangs. I'm absolutely in awe of the technology behind the new GT500s. The C8 Z51 definitely looks better and is probably faster around the track. So yeah, I did just try to search up C8 Z51 versus GT500 track times. I'm not going to be watching like another video on this right now, so let me know what their times around a road circuit are. But just to prove to you guys that the GT500 absolutely smokes the C8 in the quarter mile, in this one YouTube video, I guess, had a 10.8 quarter mile time when the Corvette had an 11.5. So that's almost by a full second, which I'm sure that's probably not the best time for either of those cars, but the GT500 is definitely a lot better in the quarter mile. Alright, so yeah, anyways guys, obviously I kind of knew this. The C8 Z51 did outperform the GT500 in this poll. Me personally, I am biased. If you want to kind of tell me how better the C8 is than the GT500 in the comments, go right ahead. But me personally, I just love the new Shelby GT500. So now moving on to the next and actually final poll, you have the Mini John Cooper Works GP against the Subaru STI S209. I actually saw one of these Subaru STIs at a Cars and Coffee, and at first I just thought it was a regular STI, and then obviously it has the different wing on it and the different arrow here and there, so I honestly didn't really know that much about it. And then so many people kind of just like started flocking to it, so I did do a little bit more research on these STIs, and they are fantastic cars. But that being said, I really do love the Mini Coopers. I think Mini Cooper, the Mini Cooper in general, is a very underrated car. Obviously they do have like their base models that really aren't, that fun or exciting at all. But a lot of like the Mini Cooper S's, depending upon their generation, can really be fun to drive and like really be cool, like little daily drivable track cars. And I do watch actually Mighty Car Mods, and they did throw a VTEC engine in, I think, a beer series. I think either it was a B series or K series, I don't know. A VTEC engine in a Mini Cooper, which was a really cool build that they did. Me personally, I could go with either one. I think the STI is really awesome, but I have personally had more experience driving Mini Coopers, so I'm actually going to go with the Mini Cooper. And yeah, I kind of thought that was going to happen as well. This STI actually destroyed it in the pole. So that is the last pole, and just to kind of recap, so the first one I actually went with the McLaren that actually did beat the Lamborghini. Second one I went with the 911 Turbo S over the Taycan Turbo S. Third one I went with the Jaguar F-Type R. And then this fourth one I did go with the Porsche over the Toyota Supra. And then for this next one here, I actually believe I went with the BMW, but the Cadillac actually won. And then for this one, I did go with the Mercedes AMG. And then moving down to the Toyota Supra 4-cylinder against the Mustang High Performance EcoBoost. I went with the Mustang High Performance EcoBoost, but that did lose to the Toyota Supra 2.0. And I did go for the GT500 over the C8 Z51. And then finally, I did go with the Mini John Cooper Works GP over the Subaru STI S209. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, I've never done anything like this. They do have a couple other like would you rathers that I find pretty interesting, so I'm probably going to do a couple other videos on this for sure. But like always, thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.